Welcome to the Smart Influencer Podcast. I'm Corinne.
And I'm Christina.
And together we help digital entrepreneurs streamline their businesses, maximize revenue, and finally feel in control of their time.
Every week we share tried and true strategies, proven systems, and expert interviews to help you grow your influence and income without the burnout. So if you're ready to get smarter about how you run your business, you are in the right place.
Before we dive in, though, if you love what you hear, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you find today's conversation helpful, please share it with a friend who could use it too.
So today we have, I'm so excited for today's interview because Corinne has been talking this up to me for months now. So I was very excited to dive in and learn more. But we're talking with Cyril Chandelier from Listedum about building and growing a business on Etsy. So welcome to the show, Cyril.
Hello, thank you. I'm very glad to be here and really excited about this conversation.
Yeah, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, so my name is Cyril. I'm very immersed in the world of selling on Etsy for a few years. I'm the founder of Listedum. It's a website that helps Etsy sellers grow their businesses on Etsy and their shops. And I think maybe what's gotten me into this is my wife. She actually started an Etsy shop a couple of years ago, and it was quite interesting to see she's the creative type. She is an artist. She likes to create. But then when she started selling items on Etsy, well, she had to become an e-commerce expert. She had to become to wear so many more hats that she was not used to wearing. And I saw her struggle understanding what to do to get her products in front of people. Eventually starts getting the sales started coming, and then it was quite also interesting to see the new struggles that come after that. When you have to grow your shop, you start having so many listings to manage and it starts to become very overwhelming. And myself, I'm a software engineer. I've been doing that for many, many years. And this is something I love doing. I love taking people's problem and solve them with the help of technology if I can. And so I started building tools for her. It was useful to her. And then one day we decided, why not open that up to more people, to more sellers. And so we did. This is how Listedum was born. It's been more than 2 years now that we launched this product, and we have now worked with thousands of sellers to help them with their shop. So that's a little bit of it.
The thing that impressed me, Cyril, so after I signed up for Listedum, I found you because I was looking for a way for my team member to help me get my listings in because I realized I was the bottleneck there. Like we were finishing all these products, she was doing the mock-ups, and then, whenever I had a pocket of time in my schedule, I'd list them, or more likely I wouldn't. They'd sit there, collecting dust on my hard drive. So I needed a way for her to do that. But Etsy does not make it easy for you to you can't add users, right? Like I couldn't add her as an assistant that would give her access. So I went looking. I didn't find it in Google because you had asked me this on our first call. I found you in ChatGPT. So just side note for everyone else, AI is not going to kill us. In some ways, it's helping us. So, but I found you in ChatGPT because I'm like, how do I let my team member upload things to my store? And that's why I originally came to you. But then you had a thing where I could hop on and you could give me, you would walk us through how to use the tool. I'm like, oh, fantastic, because there was so much in there and I'm like, I need to learn. And you basically gave me a master class on Etsy. I did not realize how much I was doing wrong and how much I didn't know, how much there was to know. You were very generous with your knowledge, which is one of the reasons I was super excited to have you on here. And what I love too, because we're not going to try and talk everyone into doing Listedum, but if you're going to do Etsy, you are going to want to have Listedum. It just makes everything that you have to do there easy. But it is evident, it's clear why it's built in because you clearly understand the platform. You clearly understand Etsy and what is happening there, and you've built so much capability into that tool to help sellers do it better. So I've got a lot of questions for you, and Christina, I promise I'll button my lip at some point so you can ask questions too. But some of the highlights from the call that I had with you, can you because you did an audit right away on my shop. and gave me some like crystal clear advice on what to fix. Can you kind of go down, you don't have to go in super great detail, but just like that kind of hit list of where a lot of us are just missing the mark right out the gate, like things that we're not doing just with our stores on Etsy, to be seen, to be attractive to buyers, etc.
Well, there's a lot of process here, but yes,
Sorry.
that's kind of this big overwhelming world you enter when you start selling on Etsy. Uh, First of all, there are a lot of resources out there. There are a lot of YouTube channels, podcasts, even books, and you will hear a lot of different opinions and everything and its opposite, really. So when we started this Listed, we didn't want to be another voice telling you saying something different. And so we went straight to the source. We went to Etsy, and Etsy is actually giving a lot of these resources in this website called the Etsy Seller Handbook. This is an official resource, but it's dense. There is a lot in there. And so we like to say that we read the Etsy Seller Handbook, so you don't have to. I still think you should read it, but we have done it and we backed all its content in the tools that we are building. I think like I was saying a little earlier, like the creative type of people, they are here to create. They like to create new product, to craft, whether it's handmade or print on demand or digital downloads. Like it can be a lot of different category, even vintage on Etsy. What you like is the thrill of creating and putting that out there is exciting, but you enter a new world where you kind of have no idea that you are at the mercy of yet another algorithm. It's not just like social media, it works slightly different. And it's more like a search engine. So, like when you are making a website and you want people to find it in Google, you have certain steps that you need to do to um, show yourself in a better light so that the search engine understands what you are doing and in the case of Etsy, what you are selling. There are a few rules that are written in this Etsy handbook. There are things that you should do by default when you open your shop, and that a lot of people will glance over and not even realize they're not doing. But like having a complete shop is one of these prerequisites. Etsy wants you to look like you have done your work at the beginning. They want you to complete your shop, to have a logo, a banner, that you feel your policies. I know this is not what people want to hear when they create a new shop. They don't want to hear about privacy policies and return and exchange policies, but you have to do it because once you have done it and it's something you do one time, your shop is marked as complete and is more likely to appear in search. That's kind of like one of the biggest mistake we find often is people just not filling these few first prerequisites.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? Like Google wants that too on our website sides.
Right. Right.
That we have.
Absolutely.
I like the approach that you've come to this from a problem solving perspective for your wife. I mean, this is something, we talk a lot about in our group coaching, Corinne, is like you have to be solving somebody's problem in order for something to be effective. And I'm just, as you were doing your introduction, I'm like, man, I wish my husband was a software engineer.
Yeah.
He could help me. There's still hope
I'm
with my
sure he's
kid.
solving other types of problems.
He's
Yeah.
solving problems, all right. They're not the kind that can help me though. But I think that coming from that problem solving perspective, you really were able to build a really great product. I mean, from everything Corinne has been telling me, I think she had me sold from the minute she was introducing this man. Like, oh my gosh, yes, you need this if you're going to be selling on Etsy.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say, like, the thing that's really cool about it is because you do take that handbook and you boil it down into something that is not overwhelming. Like, I'm so easily overwhelmed with, I mean, really just anything now. Christina and I always talk about it. Anything that we do is 14 steps at
Yeah.
least. Like, nothing is simple. But I love, like, I've opened it up, whatever, we're on a podcast, so no one can see it. But like, I've opened up my dashboard and I'm in the shop critique to see. And I love that, like, you've got shop logo and then you've either got a green check mark or a red X so that I know I need to look at that. And so, like, I can go down that list and see where do I need to work. And then I can open it up to get all of the details about what needs to be done for the couple items that I don't have filled in. So it's very easy. And it's very easy to tackle the work that needs to be done, like without being overwhelmed by it, because it's all shrink up.
Hmm.
Like it's a nice little checklist. And then I only have to see more details and be overwhelmed by information when like, and I'm not overwhelmed by it because it just opens up a little box with some, some guidelines. It's just so smartly done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'd like to talk about next for Etsy sellers, because again, I learned a lot in that call with you that I did not know before. The listings, like this is what blows my mind. When I try to describe listedom to people, I tell them it's as if Key Search and Neuron Writer had a baby. Those are the two tools I use, one for keyword research and one for optimizing my post. So like whether it's Rank IQ or Topic or what are some of the other optimization tools, Christina, I'm not thinking of me, but whatever keyword tool you have plus an optimization tool, you've married that all up and listed them. And I did not realize, because I'm a blogger first, how much needed to be filled in on those listings, right? Like I was just trying to fill in the bare minimum. And what you have there, like I don't know how I don't think I can list anything without putting it in listed them first because when I went in and checked some of my scores for my listings, like they were, you remember because you were on that first call with me, I had very low completion scores. And again, all that data was there if I went digging for it in the handbook somewhere that I was never going to read. So I didn't realize how poorly I was doing. So I'd love if you could talk through some, like just some of those things that a lot of sellers are missing, like not using all of the tags, not including things in the description that ought to be there, like some of those just basic tips that probably a lot of us are screwing up.
Absolutely. Well, I think one of the most important thing we have been trying to do with this tool is to bring both an education component. So we don't just want to tell you that you are doing something wrong. We want to explain to you
Right.
what is wrong and how it could be improved. And we're also always putting the source, like Etsy says that. Here's the
Right.
link, so that you know, like we are not taking that out of our hat. And we are marrying that with the the tools to actually fix these issues directly uh, from Listenem. So uh, some of the common things that you will have to find, and they are like three most important components in a listing. The first one are going to be your photos. The second one, your title, and the third one, your tags. In no particular order here, actually. Um, and what you have to know when you are putting anything to sell there is that there are two really important phases when you're selling something online. And this is true for all e-commerce, not just um, Etsy. The first one is you have to be found. And the second one, you have to convert these people that are coming to you into a sale. So in order to be found, there are not so many things you can do. You have to explain to the search engine, in this case Etsy, but it could be also Google and other platforms that are referencing your products. You have to explain what your product is. And there are not so many ways to do that. You have to write a good titles that describe what your product is. Etsy gives you 13 tags, and you should always use these 13 tags. That's kind of a prerequisite, and you will see a lot of people not doing that. They will only just use three, five of these tags and leave the rest on the table. Um, and finally, within these tags, Etsy is showing a little bit in the handbook that there is not really a need for repeating yourself. You should be as broad as you can and use as many words as possible. So each tag is 20 characters long, and you should avoid using single word tags because you're just wasting space.
Mm.
They're giving you this opportunity to tell the algorithm what your product is about, and you should use that. So these two things is going to help you be found. But once Etsy put your listing in the search result of somebody, then you need to transform that into a click. And now there are three things that really matter. The first one is the thumbnail photo. It's kind of the most important thing. This should be a well-lit photo that shows what your product is at a glance. Don't make people guessing. This is why Etsy does not recommend you doing like collage pictures where it's not really clear what things are. If you're writing text on it, it can make the thing relatively overwhelming. So the best is a well-lit picture with your product in the center. And also sometimes making something that stands out a little bit, especially if you are in a competitive space and everybody is doing the same thing and has the same thumbnail photo. Sometimes you want to make yours pop a little.
Mm.
The thumbnail is one of these most important things. The second one is like price. You need to price it right. And the third one is the title. So when in search, people are only going to see these three things: the photo, the thumbnail, the price, and the title. And the title, even there, they are going to only show 30 characters of your title. So you need to put at the very beginning of your title what's most important, what's most descriptive about your product. Why should these people that are looking for an item click on this? Because they will see immediately that this is what they were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So these are like the tips to be found. But then once the person has clicked into your listing, now you need to convert this into a sale. And for this, I believe the most important tip is to use all your photos. So on Etsy, they give you 10 photos that you can put on each listing. And again, you will see a lot of listing only putting 2-3 photos, which is leaving 7 photos on the table, for instance. And it's really a big opportunity. And the reason for this is that people are visual buyers,
Mm-hmm.
and they are not really readers. They rarely read your title. They definitely do not read your description, and everything you think is important and you put in description will probably be overlooked. In fact, on Etsy, the description is almost hidden. Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
3 lines
Mm-hmm.
and you have to expand it, but you don't even see it. So photos is the best place for you to, one, have the best thumbnail, the best photo for people to convince people this is what they are looking for. But after that, you need to show the different variation of it, show it in different angles as they suggest. But you should not stop there. You should also, if you can, show your product held in hands. Like people
Mm-hmm.
really are visual buyers and they really like it better and like it clicks better for them if they see this item in the hands of a human. They want to see this human connection. And the last few of your pictures, you can use it to do a little more than just talking about your product. You should answer the questions that people may have without having them reading your description. And so, for instance, if your product is a certain size, well, make sure to use one of your picture to show what relative size is going to be and even write it on there. This is a question some people may have. Some people may be worried about how things are going to be shipped, especially if it's a fragile item and they are worried that it's going to be or arrive broken. Well, show them a picture to show how it's going to be shipped, and it might actually solve this problem for them. Um, Other types of pictures that can be very important as social proof. If you are a successful seller already and have made a couple hundred sales and have like almost 5 stars, you should show that to people because it just reassures them that they are not buying from a random shop and that they can trust you. And I think the last one thing that you can do from your picture is to create more of a human connection between this product, your buyers, and you, the seller.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, People come to Etsy to buy handmade products made from small shop owner, creative people, and they want to create this connection with the seller. And so, very often, people do not do it, but it's really easy in one picture to like or in the pictures to show a little bit more of your universe to connect at a more personal level instead of just putting plain pictures and do something that is a little bland. That was a lot.
It was a lot, but it was super helpful. Like that
Yeah.
was to me such a game changer when we met and you were talking about that because I was really trying, like I was still working on getting to 5 images because Etsy had said like, that they wanted 5 images at least for a listing to show. So we were working on that. And then I was like, when you said really you should use all 10, I'm like, oh, what am I going to put here? And you helped me with all of those suggestions. So we have added now, like we've got one where it's me and I introduce myself and talk about why I do what I do. And then we introduced one that was the testimonial. We have a couple different testimonials. So depending on what the product is, I used one of them to promote a bundling discount to get people to shop more. And I think you had said too to like put in related items, right? Like there to, to make sure they go. Like that was the amount of space I was wasting not like this to me was one of the biggest tips you gave. And then I'm going to give a shout out to the tool you've created because the other really cool thing that you have enlisted them is some of my older photos before I was like I don't know, way back when, because I started my shop like 5 years ago, like threw some things in there. My images were too small, like they weren't the right pixel size. And you have an automatic upscale built in so that I could just click the button and it automatically upscaled it. And then the other thing that I thought was very cool in Listed and again, this is more like, and you had told me, like, it's not going to be the best converting video, but if you want to have a video to increase your chances, your ability to create a video from your images right inside listed them. Like we don't have to go to Canva and create a slideshow. Like you click a button and listed them
Mm.
and it's done. So, and Cyril was very candid with me. He's like, you're going to get better results from a more professional type of video that's showing it being used. But for the sake of having a video versus not having a video, like it solves that problem. I do have a question. I jotted down about pricing. Since you were talking about pricing as one of the toggles, that is probably the only thing that I have not seen in Liston that I wish that you had. Is there any, is it in the roadmap to create pricing help? Like where you can, like based on the tags, do some research and give a pricing recommendation at least, or is that not something you're interested in adding?
The roadmap is very, very big. Like we have so much on there, and I'll be real with you, saying that this was not the near the top, but this is something important, and this is something we can do. We know what your product is, we know what tag you're using, which category you're in, and so it should be possible to give you a range of the prices of other items using similar tags and category, and to tell you how you do compared to this other
Mm.
thing. And it's very important for positioning. I think a lot of people will think that you should price lower than everybody so you get the sale. But price sensitivity is only one factor here. Like buyers, sometimes we find that something cheaper is not necessarily better. And this is often true.
Right.
Sometimes you need to make your product more attractive with the price in order to get more sales and build this credibility. But once you have it, you should probably not uh, put yourself too much on sale, and you should in fact like
Mhm.
price it correctly, price it higher to show quality and the fact that it's worth your money.
Yeah.
uh, there are a lot of advices we could give with that, and giving data to people is something we can do.
Yeah.
I'll take this recommendation in.
Okay. So speaking of data, the other big like blew my mind thing was when you're in Listing Manager and like it was Christina, like the closest equivalent is when you're in Search Console for the first time and someone explains low-hanging fruit to you and it's like, "Oh, look for the things with high impressions, low clicks." And like we can fix that by tweaking the title and tweaking the meta description, like such an easy thing. So in Listedom, Cyril's got this beautiful chart of your listings and all the data related to it. And he's like, so what you should do, Corinne, is go and look for your items that have low views, but high conversions on the sales page.
Hmm.
And those are the things that you want to send more traffic to because the sales page is working, but not enough people are seeing it. Conversely, then go look at the things that have high views but have low conversion rates, and that's where you really need to tweak the sales page. Like it was such simple advice, and it's so easy to see in that dashboard. So like we were very like it was very simple to go in and find 10, 10 things that we needed to update right away. And then it was easy for me to decide what I was going to push Etsy ads to using that advice. It was
Hmm.
like brilliant. Yeah.
Well, we want to take the guesswork out of selling on Etsy, and part of this guesswork is figuring out which of your listings are doing great and you should double down on,
Right.
and which of your listings need work. And so it either need work because it's not getting enough views, but it will sell good, like you said, or it's getting a lot of views, but it doesn't convert well. Each of them will have different steps you can take to try to improve it. Doesn't mean it's going to work all the time, but like there are playbooks for this.
All right, so talk to me now about pins because we talked a little bit about this, and Pinterest since you and I spoke has done another algorithm shift. People are very frustrated by it, but what I have seen is that both my Shopify store and my Etsy pins are picking up. Like Pinterest at the moment that we're recording this seems to be favoring shopping, not so much sending us traffic to our food blogs and parenting blogs, etc. So, like, talk to me about what you know about Pinterest and Etsy.
That's a great question. I think Pinterest and Etsy are similar in a lot of ways. Well, obviously Etsy is the shopping platform, but what they have in common is that these are both visual tools. So Pinterest is a visual search engine, and Etsy is a visual shopping platform. You are going there for the images and the videos that shows this, and there is a lot of overlap between um, these two these two websites, in the sense that people who go on Pinterest like to pin and add to their boards a lot of items that are cute and in a certain vibe, and Etsy sellers love to create these items and to make this and also in a handmade way very often, which really adds the cute and nice vibe. So like there's actually a lot of overlap in between these two. In our tool, like we give the opportunity to people because we know everything about your listings. Like we help people create new pins in one click. Look, we already know your title, your description, the link to your product, your thumbnail image. So it's just a matter for you to decide which one you want to go on Pinterest. You click once and it's there.
Mm.
And what we've observed is that it's a huge boost to put more eyeballs on a product. You don't want to only rely on Etsy search engine. You want to uh, show your product in new places and different places, because you're just not putting all your eggs in the same basket and hoping that Etsy is going to send you people.
Right.
And Pinterest is very adjacent type of audience.
So, question about that because I know you had rolled that out. So, like, I love that you can create pins right in the dashboard. But I had not thought to ask you, does is it using the direct URL to the listing, or is it doing our share link so that we pay lower fees? Do you know? Am I asking that question right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
So Etsy last year introduced this new type of link that they call save and share. And
Mhm.
so basically, if you bring somebody to your shop and they make and they purchase the item, you are going to only be charged 4% instead of the regular fee that is closer to 7%. So like you're actually saving money by sending your own people to buy your items. And so when you pin from Listadum, we are automatically injecting your link. So you don't have to think about it or
Of
try to
course
go
you
and copy
are.
paste things. So by default, if somebody comes from Pinterest, you are going to only be charged this 4% instead of 7%, which can be a nice saving uh, at the end of the year.
I love the problems, again, the problem solving approach, right? He's helping his wife solve a
Yeah.
problem that she had, and we're all reaping the benefits now. I love
Yeah,
it.
I racked my brain on that call with Cyril trying to think of something that he wasn't showing me yet that already existed in the tool that I might need, and I couldn't come up with anything. He just kept showing me things that it never even occurred to me that I might want to see.
Right,
So,
because you don't know what you don't know when you're
right.
coming into, a new arena like Etsy
Yeah.
that, influencers like us and bloggers like us may not be familiar with.
So one of those things, Cyril, and I'd like you to spend a minute talking about this, and this is specific, like I don't know where I would see this data if it wasn't in Listedom, but the Shop Explorer, so that we can actually see who's doing well in our niche.
Ooh, we can
Can you
spy.
talk a little bit about that, about what that tool does, and also, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and ask both questions. Talk about it in the dashboard and then also the Chrome extension.
Hmm. Well, there are millions of shops on Etsy. And so when you are browsing the website, you will only see a portion of them that are relevant to what you are searching, but know that there are millions of other shops out there. I think in their quarterly report or annual report, Etsy is saying that they basically have around 5 millions shops on the main platform and 7 or 8 million when they take the extended platforms. And so what we do is that we are uh, gathering a lot of data about all these shops. And I think we have found 4.5 million. There are still 500,000 that we have not found, probably. What you will see is that a lot of them are not necessarily active in the sense that they don't necessarily have any active listing or anything on sale. So it's actually closer to 2.5 to 3 million shops that have listings on sale at any given moment. And maybe it picks up towards the end of the year, like now, because people are getting ready for the holidays and Christmas, which is a big season for e-commerce. So every week we are going to go and look at this shop and have a look to did they make sales this week, this month? Did they launch new products, etc. And so we'll be able to show this information to you if you research it. We know a lot about it. It's not as much information as is this shop joined Listedom because we don't have access to any private information. It's only what's public, but it can be really helpful for you to see which one are these popular shops in your niche that are working and what they are selling. Um, this is within Listedom, and within Listedom, you will also be able to track shops. So, like you can decide either because they are a competitor or source of inspiration sometime to track them, and you will have a better view of and easier access to this shop in the future. Another thing you can do is use this Chrome extension, as you mentioned. It's something you can install, it's free, and it's just adding more information for you as you browse Etsy. As you browse Etsy, normally you only see the products, but you as a seller, you are actually not just browsing Etsy for yourself, you are actually studying or sometimes spying on the competition. You want to know a little more.
I'm
And
going to pause you
so,
for just a second. So,
yes.
listeners, so that you kind of have a vision of what it does, it's like keywords everywhere. So, if you're using the keywords everywhere Chrome extension, you go do a Google search and it provides that data. This is doing the same thing when you're on Etsy looking at Etsy
Hmm,
listings. So, all
that makes
right,
sense.
continue, Cyril. I like the listeners that aren't using Etsy may not have like pictured it. So,
It makes sense. Um, and yeah, so like, we are just going to augment your experience on Etsy by showing more information. So you will be able to see on each listing at a glance how many views this listing got, how many favorites, and because we also know how old they are, we can tell you a notion of how many views they get in average every day. This is kind of important because there is a big difference between a listing that's getting 10 views every day and one that's getting zero point
Mm.
0.5. Um, and it's all relative after that, but as soon as a listing starts getting multiple views per day, usually it's a sign that there is a market. That if you were doing something in that niche, you will be able to uh, be put in front of people and maybe make sales. Additionally, we reveal the tags that people are using. So tags are important for this SEO, um, for appearing in search results, and so they are normally hidden, but like we display them to you you can see them to the extension.
Hmm.
Um, and this can be useful for inspiration also to find new ideas of tags that you could be using, or to see if you may have missed something like your competitors or other listings that are similar to you, they're actually targeting a tag that you didn't think of, and sometimes it can be a good one.
Yeah.
The other thing I love about it is it's again, like this is where you have some of the capability of some of the optimization tools we use for SEO, is that it will pull up and it'll kind of like rate each listing. So like I'll open it up and it'll be like this particular listing that's getting 10,000 views a month does not have an optimized title. It did not use all of their tags. Like so you can see where you've got an opportunity if you optimize your listing to outperform them. So
What you're saying here is important, but I'd like to add some nuance to that.
please do.
When you browse Etsy a lot for this listing, you are going to realize that there are a lot of bestsellers that have terrible titles, one picture, zero tags. And so SEO is good to help you get found initially, but the thing that is the most important on Etsy and for Etsy search engine is what is called sales velocity. So and engagement in general. So unless you make sales, you are going to be buried in search results. And a listing that is already making tons of sales is always going to be shown first because it's already proven. Like Etsy already understands what this product is and which audience they need to be put in front of. And they already have the sales velocity and they
Hmm.
will always be shown in front of you even if you come with a better listing, with a better title and better tags, if your listing has zero sales and is not making at least as many sales at the beginning, you are not necessarily going to win that.
Makes sense.
So it can show you some opportunities, but to be taken with a grain of salt,
Mhm.
sales is still what matters most because Etsy wants to see that your product is going to convert, not just that it can be found.
So, question about that, because this is new information to me. So, if sales velocity is important, and actually velocity is throwing me off. So, I'm going to just, if making sales is important early on, would it be a good strategy? Let's say you've got a strong email list or strong social media following, that as soon as you launch a product, to push it to that audience to get them to purchase so that you can get sales quickly early on. Will that help it then show up in search faster
Absolutely.
theoretically? Okay.
And it's not just the theory, it's a practice that some people may be able to leverage. Um, you want to build this momentum when you launch a new product. When you launch a new product, it's a new listing you created. Etsy is going to give it a little boost. And by little boost, what I mean by that is that they're going to show it in front of people just to get a sense of whether people click on it and interact with it and maybe buy it. So it's your opportunity to get these initial sales. But if during this kind of like honeymoon period, you actually send more people and show that this listing is in demand and create the demand, it's better. And so uh, there are multiple mechanisms you can use for that. A mailing list is a great example. If you already have one and you want to promote your new products to your existing audience, you should probably do it.
Mm.
If you are also on social media announcing new products now and then, maybe not all the time, but like uh, to bring some people that are already following you and will already be interested in this product to you is definitely going to help build this momentum. Ads can also be the solution for creating the initial momentum. Etsy ads or even external ads is going to put a lot more eyeballs on your listings, and if it converts, you are going to get these first few sales that shows Etsy's algorithm that there's potential here and is going to continue and put it down on the first page.
Mm.
So yeah, different strategies possible. And if you have a good mailing list that is engaged and relevant for this product, please
Can you
Okay,
build them.
utilize coupons and discount codes for that? Like, I'm launching this just to my VIPs, use this code to kind of encourage them to go there, buy it at a lower rate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the velocity, I kind of got stuck on that term, which is why I had to step away from it. So velocity to me means like we pick up speed as we continue. So if you like send a good sales rush, this is why I was questioning this. If you send sales immediately, but then like I've got my email list once, maybe I send another reminder later, but I don't think I'll get the same conversions later, right? Like everybody's already seen the deal. Will that negatively impact you later if like this you get a rush of sales and then nothing for weeks afterwards?
It is a very dynamic
Mm.
algorithm in the sense that you will pick up that something becomes trendy and try to show it to more people. But if it shows to more people that are searching for this product and these people don't interact with your product, then it's going to naturally go
Uh,
back down in the rankings.
gotcha.
So it's not going to impact you negatively, but uh, you it's dynamic. It's not because you
Yeah.
put your product at the top
Right.
You have to
It's not
maintain it.
gaming the system. The
needs to
system
Yeah.
be made.
is showing what is getting a response. So, all
Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
So I think though that sounds like that's where that optimized listing really comes into play. Like when you're answering the questions and you're using those 10 images thoughtfully. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a listing and it's the same image. One's to the left, the next one it's to the right, the next one it's a top down. Like it's the same thing. I want
Right.
to see more variety.
Or give me more information at least.
Right, right. And I like that, interjecting yourself and answering the questions right in there because I don't click on the description as a user. I don't ever click. I make my decision based solely on photos.
As
Yeah.
most people do.
Yeah.
And I think the Etsy is a little bit at fault here in the sense that when you are creating a listing in their interface, they will recommend you to do like uh, front view, a
Yeah.
side view,
Yeah.
three-quarter angle.
Yeah.
And this is what they are encouraging you to do, which is great. Like you should definitely show different angles. And for some product, this is very
Right.
important. But this is not where it ends. Once you have taken three or four different angles, there is more. You need, again,
Right.
like
Yeah.
show it in people's hands, show it in context is
Yeah.
very important, and also answer the other questions a buyer may have.
I was looking for a tote bag. That's what I was looking for. And I was very hard pressed to find one that showed me what the inside was like. And the
Uh,
shoulder strap, if it was like long enough to like be truly used as a, or if I had to have one of these little mini shoulders,
right.
like I'm not a
That's where
little
you
person.
needed to see it on the person.
Right. So, and that's what I'm saying. But everything showed me the front view, the side view, the ups. I don't need that. That's not what I want to see. So
It's
like they
because they
didn't,
all did print on demand and they did it in Canva, and those were the types of
yeah.
mock-ups they could get.
So
Right.
I think having this kind of expertise in this, like, I don't know if I'm dating myself here, but the Cliff Notes version of the Etsy handbook,
Yeah.
at your disposal, I think it's a golden nugget
Yeah.
right there to be able to put together listings that can give you more of an opportunity to succeed.
Yeah. I have not been this excited about a tool in I don't know how long.
She was very excited.
I am. I tell everyone about it, especially in this era where like so many of our friends are getting out of the business or they're thinking about folding their businesses because they need to monetize in a different way and they don't know how. Like the fact that you have made entering this market so like approachable for really anyone. Like you've given someone a tool that they don't have to come in and be an Etsy master out the gate. Like they can like we're taking skills that we've already been honing in blogging and applying it here. And you've made it really easy to do with this tool. I am super excited about this
So,
tool.
like listeners, if you've already discounted Etsy and like, yeah, I don't want to do that because it's something else I have to learn. I think what Cyril's product's doing is taking that learning curve and really diminishing it for
Yes.
us and making it something that's easy to do, almost like plug and play. You're giving us the checklist and the steps and the direction of what we need to do.
Yeah.
Trying our best to do that. One thing I'd say that I believe is very important when creating a product in general is to try to not overwhelm people with data. I think it's very easy when you have a lot of data to just show it to you. Yeah,
Mhm.
tons of numbers and competition and search volumes and all these things that many websites will give you. But the problem is it's not about the raw data. Like if you overwhelm me with a ton of raw data, I will not know what to do with this. You need to
Right.
guide me. You need to help me. And this is what we are trying to do, and we make our product better every day in that direction. It's still a
Hmm.
lot of data. And there's still a learning curve. It's not completely automatic. There's still a lot of work, but hopefully we help seller go through the hump of learning how to sell online
Mhm.
uh, thanks to our tools.
Yeah. So, listeners,
100%.
if you have a digital product, you could be selling that on Etsy too and reaching a whole different market that may not ever see your product on your website.
Right.
It's its own ecosystem, I feel like, that you can market to that probably or maybe has never even seen your site.
Well, and one of the things we hear a lot, like, because I do some coaching in a printables group for Sherry, who you're going to be speaking for, Cyril. Like, it's in a couple different places. We talk to bloggers that are trying to break into products, or they have a product, but then they don't know. Like, creating the product isn't the
Mhm.
problem. Like you said, we're all creators. It's the mechanics of
Yeah.
selling it. And you're running a blog. Do you have time to set up a Shopify store or like do all that? That's one of the things like Etsy makes that very easy. So yeah, they take a bigger cut than if you're running your own store, but you don't have the overhead of paying for Shopify and a new domain and all of that. And people don't know, well, maybe some people now know wondermom.shop, but like many more people know Etsy. So if you see that URL with wondermom.shop, you're more likely to buy from
Mhm.
Etsy because it's known, it's
They
familiar.
trust it, right? They know
Yes.
that if there's a problem with a purchase, there's recourse, like there's safeguards built in as a user when you buy from a trusted source, especially now where everything, every third email you get is a scam.
Right.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think too, like what
Distribution is everything,
it is.
as
Yeah.
you were saying, and it's true for e-commerce. It's true for any sort of product you are building, including for us. As we are building this tool, it's a great tool. People
Hmm.
love it when they use it, but always they tell us like, how is it they didn't hear about it before?
You have to
It's
be
because
found.
distribution is really, really hard.
The
Um,
distribution is the hardest part of the whole thing.
It is.
it's beautiful when you create a shop on Etsy because you are borrowing their distribution.
Hmm.
They have millions of people that come to their website with the intent to buy.
Right.
They do advertising on TV, on billboards in major cities. They are known to be the place to go if you want to buy a gift, a personalized gift, something for the holidays, and even all year long. They have everything. They are known for many other things, and they come with their entire infrastructure, the trust that you are mentioning, Christina,
Hmm.
that if something goes wrong, you will be refunded, and somebody will take care of that. So it's really a platform that is doing a lot of the heavy work for you. One thing I hear a lot, we are often going to craft fairs, and we ask all these crafty people that are selling there if they are selling on Etsy, and often they will say no, the fees are too high, uh, and instead they will go and spend all this time and all these efforts creating their own Shopify and trying to get traffic going to it. It's really hard. It's a lot of work to create this distribution.
And spend an entire weekend sitting at a craft fair,
Right.
right? The entire weekend.
Yes. It's all different world, and I think it's
Yeah.
important to have both.
And
It's
I agree. I
very
agree. It's
local versus online
right.
and
You have
global,
to do it
but
all. But
yes,
it's the mentality and it's that thought process. You would think nothing of signing up to do a craft fair, but yet you've automatically discounted Etsy because of a percentage fee.
Right. Well,
Like,
and meanwhile, you don't pay like you pay the 20-cent listing fee, but you're not paying Etsy till after you make your money,
yeah.
right? Like you make the sale and that's where their fees come out of.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When you were talking, the little cogs in my brain were going chicka chicka chicka, and like okay, so I have my own shop on my site where I can list it for free or whatever, and I don't have those extra fees. Or you're paying Shopify, you have your own little ecosystem there. But it really, I'm thinking for me anyway, it would make more sense to promote the Etsy links because not only would I sell the product, yes, there is the percentage that you would have to discount, you would have to pay for that, but you're building that momentum of sales on Etsy and building that relationship there to get your other listings shown. Whereas on your own site, it's just like a one and done transaction.
Right.
This you're feeding the beast, I feel like.
it doesn't have to be a one and done transaction. I think it's important to note that when you have your own website and buyers buy from it, there are mechanisms you should like enroll them into your mailing list and
Right.
nurture these
Right.
buyers to come back and buy more. Um, which is something that is harder to do on Etsy. They own the audience, you don't.
Right.
On your own website, you would.
True. True, true, true. Yeah,
There
you
is a
can.
certain point where most successful Etsy sellers will want to have both anyway. It's just another channel, another place where you sell. And these sales, um, what I like to say to these people that say that Etsy fees are too high is that it's better to get 90% of a number than 100% of zero.
Right.
So it's kind of
Well, we always say this when deciding what affiliate, what to pay our affiliates for our products. I
Hmm.
would rather earn 50% of a sale that I had to do nothing to earn,
Right.
right? Than to make zero, which I wouldn't make if the affiliate didn't sell it. Yeah, the percentage, the fees don't make
I
sense.
think sometimes you just have to reframe your thinking
Right,
and look at where you're coming from and not just from like the fee approach. You have to look at the whole picture.
right.
Because I like I said, my brain just started chugging. Like for me, it would make more sense to just push those Etsy links and build that ecosystem there and hopefully getting more listings seen
Right.
more frequently.
And I have both because I always do that. When I find an
Yeah.
a Etsy shop, like I will go search for that seller elsewhere to see if they sell it cheaper on their own site, right? Like I do that. Like, whatever. I'm also the person that searches for coupon codes. So you can have both, but I feel like everyone should be on
That's
Etsy.
why Corinne's a fun travel buddy because she's the one looking for the coupons. I'm like, let's just
Oh
go.
yeah. I'm a coupon maniac. Okay, so Cyril, if people want to learn more about Listedom, if they want to get in touch with you, like what is the easiest way for people to find you, learn more, etc.?
well, the website is listadum.com, Listadum. We really like the Netflix sound, when you start it and it does tadum. So like pretty
Is
much
that why they
everything we
stop?
do is
That is
this is why
so
it's called
Ta-dum.
this
funny.
way. So it's easy to remember this way with the sustain. Listadum.com. For everybody who creates an account there, you can always reach out to support. We really are proud of the fact that when you contact support, you reach me directly, and I'm going to try and help you the best I can, whether it's a problem with your shop, the tool, or just questions you may have. I'm always here to give you an opinion. We also are on social media. So my wife, that I've been helping with these tools that we then created, is now the co-founder of Listadum, and we are both working together on building this. So if you're going to YouTube, the Listadum channel is mostly talking and sharing either our knowledge or sometimes some good memes. It's always interesting, and we are on various other platforms. We try to be on Threads, Instagram as well. Always, Listedom is the end all.
All right, we will put all of those links in the show notes. Um, so before we wrap though, Cyril, I know we like just fire hosed a ton of questions
Yeah.
at you, but is there any other parting wisdom that you had for us that we somehow didn't touch on, or a final thought you want our listeners to take away?
Um, there was one point I wanted to talk about, and we didn't. We didn't talk about this part, and this is the common mistake we see people do when they are on Etsy, and it's to be too to focus way too much importance on the tags part in SEO.
Mm,
Everybody is trying to find these perfect tags, the high demand, low competition tags, and it's great, but I think a lot of people misunderstand what that really means. And so this tag is just an indication that this product, if it was represented by this one tag, will sell. It doesn't mean that using it will create new magical sale. So it's the most important thing when you're creating and trying to put something on sale is demand. And so if this product is in demand, it there are ways to put it in front of people and make sales. But if this product nobody wants it, you should just continue and iterate until you find something people want. And I think this is something that's important in the in the mindset of a lot of sellers. There are a lot of people that will just put something on sale thinking it's going to magically sell, forgetting that it's a marketplace and it's a
hmm.
market and you need to have um, the other side, which are the buyers that needs to be interested in what you are doing. You cannot sell everything.
The
Not
laws
everything is
of
going to
supply
sell.
and demand.
Yeah.
Always.
Econ 101. But it's true. It's something that Corinne, we talk in our mastermind, our group coaching a lot is about really finding out what people want and
Right.
giving them what they want versus what we think they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. That is a great note to end on. Thank you,
Yeah.
Cyril.
This has been
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you. I took like 2 pages of notes here,
I saw you scribbling
writing
frantically.
furiously.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today, Cyril. Listeners, if you want to take action on what we talked about, we're going to put the link to Listedem plus all of their socials in the show notes. And yeah, go check them out and check out this tool. Again, I've been more excited about this than probably anything other than ChatGPT in the past year. So
I
And
am
of
so positively overwhelmed by all how highly you are talking about it. I will share with you a coupon code since you say you love coupon codes to
I do.
share with the listeners,
Fantastic.
so we can put that in the show
and your
notes.
co-host.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you so much, Cyril. It's very generous.
Yeah. And listeners, we'd love to hear from you. So make sure you tag us on Instagram at The Smart Influencer with your biggest takeaway, or drop us a DM and let us know what you think about Listedem and how you can incorporate it into your own business revenue streams.
Thank you, everyone, for spending time with us today. We will be back next week with another episode to help you grow smarter, work less, and earn more. See you then.